Hi everyone, welcome to the weekly bump. I am not doing it live this week. I went through something a little bit dramatic earlier this week on Monday, and I'm still kind of decompressing from it. Oh, it's to be expected with this eclipse, I think. Plus, we had this. It's amazing how sometimes you can have these specific transits and nothing happens, and then other times these transit happens and like all this stuff happens, right? So on Monday, when Moon came in contact with Pluto in Capricorn, conjunct square Uranus, something like totally changed the course of my life pretty much, which was really strange. I don't want to talk about it because I'll probably start crying because I've had to restart this whole recording like 3 times already. So let's just not talk about it. But it really did propel me into this really weird place. And being right in the middle of the monthlies, I have like 5 monthlies left. I'm like, I don't even know if I should do it right now. I wanted to get them out tomorrow for the eclipse, but I'm not sure if that's really going to happen. But all is well with me, just so you know. It just was kind of a big thing. And I think, I don't know if everyone's experiencing it in such a big way. I wasn't expecting it to be in such a big way. In fact, I was expecting this eclipse to affect me in a completely other type of way, right? And then nothing happened in that area and everything happened in this area. So it was a little bit strange. So hopefully you guys are doing good and all is well. And I know I've been kind of doing little spiritual messages the past couple weeks. I don't really have anything this week. I do want to jump into the cards, but I also had, because of this experience, and I was all in my like heavy emotions, I was watching TV. I'm a subscriber to Gaia.com. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but Gaia.com has a whole bunch of spiritual videos, a lot of yoga and meditation, and a lot of teachings and education and stuff like that on the occult studies. And I happened to be watching that just to try to get my mind off the stuff. And there was this one show called Spirit Talk, and it's this guy who's like a medium. And one of the videos was how to come in contact with your guides. And I have heard of guides before, and I know I have them because I probably wouldn't be able to do tarot if it wasn't for my guides, I suspect. But I did decide to try to do a meditation and to kind of come in contact with one of my guides, because I've never seen them, I've never like called upon them before, and I know that mediums, they very much rely upon their guides, right? And there's a whole bunch of different kinds of guides, right? When you're dealing with career stuff, you have this kind of guide, or these kinds, you know, a whole bunch of people, or angels, or spirits, or whatever it is you want to call them. And I did come in contact with a guide. And it was hard for me because a lot of times I write that kind of stuff off as being my imagination. My imagination made this person up, or made this figure up. It made this feeling up. But even though I'm a quote unquote spiritual person, there's still this kind of logical part of me. I am Virgo after all. I have Virgo with a lot of Scorpio, and there's a lot of that Scorpio skepticism. And, you know, I don't know, this week, just because of what happened, I just allowed myself to just let it be. And it felt so effortless. So I don't know if you guys have guides. I don't know if you guys have ever come in contact with them before. But mine was a very, very tall man. Very tall. 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", something. Bigger, but like lean. And kind of looked like Jesus a little bit, with like the beard and kind of the long scraggly hair, the way that Jesus and like John the Baptist and all the apostles and stuff were kind of portrayed in a lot of the paintings and artwork. And I don't know his name. I know a lot of people, their guides have names and they talk to them and all of this. So if you guys have experience with that, I would love to hear it, because I have no idea really how that stuff works. But it was weird. It definitely gave me a great sense of comfort, right? It wasn't Jesus, by the way. Like, I don't know, we don't know what he looks like, but I mean, it definitely had that, like the beard and the more Arabic or Middle Eastern kind of lineage looking, kind of like that tan olive skin, but really, really tall. It was very strange. Yeah, I'm not going to talk too much more about it. But let's go ahead and get started with the cards. But if you have guide experience, I would love to know who your guides are and how you really came in contact with them. So I was shuffling as I was preparing for this reading, and we did get Temperance that fell out. For me, it's personally much needed. Hopefully for you, it's much needed as well. That head, heart, spirit alignment. And sometimes those dramatic things can really happen when, you know, it can be hard when they happen, but it does make sense in the course of our life. And it's like sometimes that is something that needs to happen in order for us to attain our goals and to achieve our purpose, right? In order to kind of get on track. And while there is a lot of tension, maybe not all of you are really feeling it that way, but with the solar eclipse, there does come tension, and it affects our relationships. We do get a little bit edgy. We do tend to feel uncomfortable. And so here is kind of an angel, right, coming through and saying all is well. I don't know why I'm like, peace be unto you, like that biblical thing, peace be unto you kind of thing. And it's coming. The peace is coming. Some of you may be doing a lot of meditation as well. You know, we have that kind of crown that he's wearing. I don't know what it is exactly. It's like a sun. Sorry, my camera's not focusing. But it's like the sun symbol, like the circle with the dot in the middle. That's the symbol of the sun. On his crown chakra, you know, kind of connecting with the pineal gland. And we all know how important the pineal gland is. The pineal gland is kind of our source for this connection, right? And it has a lot to do with our connection with other world and other dimensions. And I feel like maybe some of you are getting to that place where the worldly things, the worldly aspects, somehow just only seem worldly. And when we look at things as being just worldly, we start to see how insignificant they actually really are. And that's also a huge part of this Aquarius concept, right? This Aquarius theme is awakening the collective conscious and awakening our sense of self as a part of a much, much bigger picture. And knowing that our thoughts and our actions really, really do impact the world in a big way, like the butterfly effect. A butterfly flutters its wings in Peru, and across the ocean we have a tidal wave, right? Kind of thing. Let's see what else comes out. Cards haven't really been wanting to come out. Okay, well, we got one. The Ace of Wands. Of course, this eclipse opens a portal. And that's kind of what I've been saying, right? In the past few weeks, it's been good fortune, good luck, take advantage, go, 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 go. And yet it hasn't quite seemed to solidify or become defined is kind of the words that I've been using. Our paths haven't quite become defined, and we haven't quite put our finger on the end game. But this is going to be something new with this eclipse. Something new comes in. For me, huge things have kind of come in. Maybe for you it's just one little thing. One person that happens to pick up the phone and call you, one little job opportunity or one little side gig that you get, one little passionate idea that just kind of comes in and just kind of tickles your brain a little bit, that kind of affects you, right? But this can be an unrelenting ace, right? Kind of like the Ace of Swords. It's unrelenting. It's kind of like standing on the door, like, no, come on, open the door, open the door, open the door. And so we can take it if we want. We don't have to take it, though. That's kind of one of the things with the aces is if we feel ready, we can, and the universe isn't going to misguide us. So the universe thinks you're ready. That's why it's giving it to you. But also at the same time, if you're not ready, this will be there waiting for you for when you are. Okay? Let's see what else. Page of Pentacles. See, I do think that you're going to be coming in contact with new people over the course of the next couple of weeks. Yeah. And these are going to be solid offers. The people that are trying to get in touch with you are good, genuine people. They're good, genuine people with your best interest at heart. They are being honest in what they're saying. Okay, I don't see a lot of deception with this per se. I think we have something going on with Neptune. I pulled up the stars, I forget. But I think it might be Mars. I don't remember. Totally not relevant. I feel like to have faith in this, okay, is going to be kind of a big deal. Whoever this person is, just have faith. This is not going to be a big deal, right? This is a lot louder. I don't think these are the same thing. I think these are actually two different things. I think this is a thing that opens up in your life, and this is a person. Now, maybe this person is kind of guiding you here, but ultimately this is all about you and you harnessing this Ace of Wands, okay? I feel like some of you are going to be writing, and I don't know why writing is coming to my mind. Maybe there's just one person I'm kind of picking that up from, but like writing a book or writing your story. And this is someone that kind of eggs you on or supports you in that, or gives you an idea to kind of to run with, or something along those lines. That's not going to be for everybody. The World, the Portal, and the Sun. Can we just hold on, just like stop for 1 second and just look at all these cards? Like, look, sorry, the Sun, or the Light. I mean, all of them upright, all of them extremely positive, all of them promising success and growth and happiness too, you know? Where are the new ones? The World and the Sun. The Sun, solar eclipse, Aquarius, you know, and even this card here is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is a co-ruler of Aquarius, you know, and this portal that I keep talking about and I've been talking about, it's becoming more and more apparent. It's not one of those like in and out energies that just like all of a sudden comes in and boom, you're in a totally different chapter in your life. It's a slow progression. You know, it's kind of like the death card. It's slow progress. But when you look back, you're like, oh, wow, that really did take me from going this direction to all of a sudden going that direction, right? And I do think there's some of you are making big 180s. I do think some of you are feeling very much like you've been on an incorrect track and you are aligning with your correct track. Whether that's career-wise, whether that's who you're dating, whether that's your friends circle, whether that's where you're living, the city that you chose, whatever it is. But those changes that you're like really wanting to make are fully supported by the universe in big ways, okay? In really, really big ways. Because ultimately, we need to adjust our life. We need to adjust our lifestyle to accommodate this how do I give back kind of Aquarian theme, right? That I keep hashing into here. Now, it's not always going to be Aquarius, right? Because as the nodes move, we're going to have the eclipses move and the areas are going to change. So this is just kind of a short-lived, I think the nodes take 2 years to get. I think it's a 2-year transit. I'm not sure exactly on that. But to get from sign to sign, right? So it's not always going to be this Aquarius stuff. It's not always going to be the Leo stuff, right? Last year we had the Virgo Pisces. So we're shifting now, okay? So these changes that you're needing to make are ultimately contributing to your happiness, which in turn contributes to the happiness of your friends, family, neighbors, and communities. And I'm feeling like this sense of radiation, like radiating or glowing with like this newfound sense of understanding, not necessarily the sense of purpose, right? But this sense of understanding more of who you are, understanding your own ego a lot, understanding why you feel the way you feel, understanding why you had to go through some of that stuff. And it really is closing the door on all the stuff from 2017, like just boom. And I told last August, it was like you see the door closing in front of you, but you're still like standing outside grasping. Well, we've moved away from that sense of grasping and that sense of emotional attachment. And that, I mean, it's 6 months later, right? That's enough time for us to kind of get our heads on straight and to get realigned. And now the universe is like, yep, you're realigned, you're good to go. Like it's giving you the green light, okay? Giving you the green light to make those changes and those shifts. So those of you who are looking to travel, relocate, to find new relationships, end old bad ones, now is the time, 100%. We got the Tower out, by the way. I'll pull that up in just a second. The Knight of Wands. I do sense an antsiness in a lot of people. I'm getting so many major arcana. Temperance, World, Sun, Tower, Lovers. See, I feel as though in a general reading, I mean, all the court cards have their really beautiful things, right? This is a Jupiterian quality. Jupiter in Scorpio right now, okay? And it's that deep connection with our sense of passion, our deep emotions. It's that spirituality on like a really deep Scorpio level, okay? And this is a very spiritual person, someone that's highly philosophical, who likes to see the world from a 10,000 foot perspective, and who doesn't get bogged down in the small little mundane details of life, right? And there is a sense of freedom and liberation coming from this guy right here. And the optimism, let's not forget, look, the Tower, the Tower obviously speaks to me a lot right now. I hope I'm not just reading for myself. Hopefully it does speak to you guys. But the Tower represents that sudden change where the structure of our life suddenly becomes something completely different. And our obligations, or the things that we think are obligations, are no longer there. They just kind of dissolve. And all of a sudden you are able to take a new path. And with the Lovers, can we just compare these two for just a second? Because I see the Lovers in a spiritual context, right brain, left brain, and like the spirit, right? The divine masculine, the divine feminine, and the kind of like awakened spirit, or the high level consciousness, right? And breaking free from the entrapments of this world kind of thing, right? Not to say that you're all gonna like turn into light beings like today, you know, but I do think that there is that drive almost. And the Lovers can indicate love and passion, yes, of course. It can indicate a great soulmate connection that you seek, of course. But it does, we cannot, guys, we cannot forget that the Lovers represents our own duality. That's why it's associated with the sign of Gemini. It's like the twins, the two sides of the same coin, the happiness and the sadness, the light and the dark. And all forms of life all have a duality. Oh, and I was gonna do this. I don't have it with me, but I was going to show you like a hammer. So if you could picture a hammer that I'm holding right now, okay? And you can think of the duality as, here's a hammer. And you can use it to hang a picture on the wall. You can use it to build a house. You can use it to take unnecessary nails out of the wall. I mean, you can use it for a lot of good things. Or you can use it as like a weapon of war. That's kind of the sense of duality, is what you do with it. And so while we have absolutely come in contact with our own duality over the past couple years, those two sides seem to be coming together in this very beautiful and very peaceful union. And it is at that time when we sort of ascend or rise above into new chapters and new ways of life, completely new ways of life, because our thoughts now see the world differently. And so when we look at it differently and we're able to see things from multiple different angles and different perspectives, we then can start living from different perspectives too, right? The Leo part of this, the Leo part of the Leo Aquarius eclipse season, was kind of the initiator of this. Because let's not forget, and I say this in the Leo monthly, that the age of Aquarius is very exciting because it earmarks the actual turning point when the world actually starts getting closer and closer to the age of Leo. And why do we care so much about the age of Leo? Because that's the golden age. That's the perfect time, quote unquote, the perfect time. That's the perfect age. And Aquarius being directly opposite of that, we are now moving forward toward that as opposed to away from it. Okay, so that's why Leo is important in that sort. And that's even the duality, right? The Aquarius-Leo duality too. There's duality in everything. And the tower just represents like, okay, guys, it's time. It's absolutely time, and there's nothing you can do about it. Okay, but yet here you are, yet here you are, like, okay, let's go. You know, there's no hang-ups, there's no blockages, and there hasn't been for months now, like a couple months since January, right? There has been no blockages. All the planets are going direct. We have Mars in Sagittarius, still Mars in Sagittarius. There's this drive to make things the best. Again, and did I put reversals in here? Like, I'm like thinking, did I not put reversals in here? No, I definitely put reversals in here. So we're not getting a single one. I'm going to end it there. The Hierophant, which has been making an appearance quite a lot in the monthlies. And the Hierophant speaks to like our own personal religion. I feel it's like our own personal religion. It's our own personal philosophy on life. Those philosophies have been getting re-scripted. And as I say, as your kind of duality kind of comes in, and you know, when we think of the imagery for just a moment, you know, the thing of Scorpio, the concept of Scorpio, the rising above, the phoenix aspect. But where does that phoenix come from? It comes from the ashes. Well, where do those ashes come from? You'll know in ancient symbolism that there's often a battle between an eagle and a serpent. And it represents heaven and hell, right? Or good and bad, good and evil. And we have them intertwining. And then they eventually kind of implode and burn, crash and burn. And it is through that the phoenix is able to rise. And again, it is that implosion of the duality and coming into unity with oneself, which is the vehicle through which we are able to rise. Now, we go through cycles of that. It's not like it just happens once in our life and then we're over. It's like, no, we come to unity and then we kind of get caught up in the world, and then we come to unity again and we get caught up. And it's this kind of ongoing theme, right? But that's kind of the essence of what's going on here. It's a very non-traditional way to explain that card. But, you know, with this coming out, it does have a lot to do with our spirituality, our covenant with our soul, our understanding with our soul. It has a lot to do with us aligning with that greater purpose and that greater good. There's still work to do, no doubt. 8 of Coins. There's still a lot of work to do. And again, there is this question of what can I give? What can I give back? You know, I think of people like Princess Diana and Mother Teresa, Nelson Mandela, Gandhi, these people that have dedicated themselves to some kind of cause, whether it's helping children or helping, you know, the ill, right? Or helping to liberate a nation or whatever it is, to break free from some form of oppression. We can speak to that in our own little teeny tiny forms of oppression, but to see that that oppression is mirrored on a grander scale as well. And once we kind of figure out our own little liberation, our own little revolution, to then turn around and say, okay, well, I am responsible for humanity, you know, like we all are responsible for humanity. We are all responsible for ensuring that people are treated rightly, right? The human rights is like a thing, animal rights is like a thing, and that people are fed, that's a thing, right? We are all responsible for that. And I think that while on a much smaller scale in our own little lives, we're going to start working through that, and eventually we're going to say, okay, well, how can I contribute on a bigger and much more grand and effective scale? And the more and more of us that do that, the more and more likely that we can really instill change. And there is a lot of work ahead of us, no doubt about it. The sad part of it is that, like, I think sometimes right now, certain parts are getting, like, for example, we just send a Tesla to Mars. How does that really help us right now? That's a very Age of Aquarius type of thing, you know, and it's not really all going to make sense. But we all need to kind of start focusing on helping our neighbors, helping, and that act of helping is a spiritual act in and of itself. And that's something that only people who are feeling whole can do wholeheartedly. Does that make sense? Because you've had a breakthrough in your own life. You know, you've had a breakthrough, you've had a transition, you've had opportunities, and now it's time for us to turn to the collective. Okay? I have no idea how long I've been talking. I do hope that made some sense for you guys. I really wish you guys nothing but the best. Thank you so much for being here. And I will see you soon with the monthlies. Hopefully tomorrow or Friday I'll be able to post those, okay? All right, thanks. Bye.